Here we are. We're back at the pad project. So, quick little update. I think there's some dust on there. Hang on. All right. Little update here. So we're going with concrete from the concrete company. Called them up and talked to them. The quote was reasonable. I guess the price of materials has come down quite a bit since when we poured the pad for the roadside stand. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with 4,000 PSI fiber reinforced concrete. So we're getting the form set up here. The Sprout's over there cleaning out one of the coops. Say hello, Sprout. There's the Sprout. That's kind of the whole point of this, is to limit the amount of manual labor. Get all the coops in a row, get it so that you can drive the tractor right up in front and, load everything out a lot easier. And then let's do all the chore work indoors, not have to walk across the yard here to do everything. So I got the laser set up, and using this tamper here is just kind of a base plate to set the grade rod on, and you're gonna have to bear with me here. Alright, so actually we got to lower that down a 1/4 inch. Yeah, that's about a 1/4 inch. Alright, so wherever we set this, so I think what I'm going to, anyway, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So that's at 4 inches, right there. We're doing a 4-inch thick slab. So I've kind of rough graded this with the bucket so far. I got a little bit extra pressure run over there. We're pouring. So it's Saturday. We got a whole bunch of time left. Got to put in for my PTO and everything. We were going to do Monday, but it's going to rain. And the truck ain't going to be able to get up that hill because it's all dirt. And once it gets wet, it gets real slick. So there goes the Sprout with a load of manure and bedding. Just gonna dump that up in the pile out the back. And there she goes. Handy Sprout. So getting this rough graded with the bucket, and then I'm gonna come through and trying to figure out how I want to tamp it. I'm sort of tamping it with the bucket as I go. But what I think I'm going to do here is put the magnetic laser on the excavator itself. That way I can do this a lot faster. Must have inhaled some dust or something. Sorry. So I'm, going through with the bucket. I'm just gonna kind of grab a bucket at a time and walk it over. I don't know if I'm gonna rent a plate compactor, or if I'm gonna go the cheap route and maybe just pile up some extra crusher run over there on one of those edges and some dirt, and drive one of the smaller tractors in here and just drive the tractor back and forth over all of this, and then call it a day. It's going to compact it just as easy, or just as good, and it's free because I already have the tractor. So I'm probably going to do that. I don't know, but yeah. So I went through and got all the forms set pretty good. I went around the whole thing with the laser. and it's pretty much like within a quarter, or not, 3/4 of an inch all the way around. So good enough as far as I'm concerned. There comes the sprout again. So I think that's pretty good. So some of these lines got a little wavy here, but I'll try and fix that when I'm over here with the bucket, doing the crusher run. I had a hand dig the drain. So underneath there is that drain. It used to be over here, so I had to hand dig that. I actually kind of cheated and used the demo hammer with the big wide chisel to cut through the clay and the shale. That made that a lot easier. But it's underneath all that dirt. There's actually a big paver, concrete paver on top of it to kind of keep it from getting, plugged up with dirt. But basically under here is about 4 inches of number 3 and number 4 crushed stone to give a permeable layer for water to migrate through and into that drain. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what I breathed in. So yeah, there's crushed stone in there, and then doing about 4 inches of crusher run on top of that to kind of give it some flexibility. And then we're going to pour the concrete on top. And it's probably just going to be a monolithic slab. I don't think I'm going to cut it or anything. Just going to roll with it. Because I figure if I cut it, then it's kind of guaranteed to move around. But then again, I don't know anything about concrete other than it gets hard once you get done with it. I probably know about as much about concrete as these chickens know. So, and you gotta work it within the period of time that it's liquid. We kind of ran into that with the roadside stand. We poured that, we kind of rough graded it with a 2x4, and then I had to follow the truck up to some other stuff that I had to pour, like a drain that I had to get perfect so that the water went into it perfectly. And I hand troweled that and everything, and by the time we got back down to the bottom to do the roadside stand, it had already started to set up, and I was like, oh crap. So we kind of did the best we could, and then we had to go back afterward and add some self-leveling material to kind of seal it up, and it actually did work pretty good. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of set you guys up here static so that you can watch, and we'll go from there. All right, enjoy. So I ended up not being able to see that or really hear it. So I flipped it upside down. It's still gonna work. See if I can get you guys in a better angle. Actually, let's go further over here. That way we can kind of see the laser maybe? I don't know. Gary's betting. Yeah. That's what we're really regular. Yeah. So like your All right, so far so good, I think. Using the laser level on the bucket. It's getting pretty close, you know, close enough for government work anyway. But then again, now, you know, these days anything will pass for government work. So, you know, all I got to do is just get it in the ballpark, and I think I'm golden. So I got a little bucket full there to hand shovel. Most of this over here I think is pretty close. There's a couple low spots in here. I gotta get this pallet out of the way. The other thing I gotta do is come in here, and I'm probably gonna cut some pieces of wood and just jam them in there to support the form. Over here, I don't know if I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't know if I'm gonna add dirt or try to brace it against the shed, the coop. We'll see. I don't know. But I gotta keep the form from blowing out over here. So I'm gonna do that yet. But otherwise, I think we're pretty close here. Like I said, I'm gonna come back through with the tractor and drive over this a whole bunch and pack it down. The math says I need 6.5 yards of concrete. So I ordered 7. So I should have more than enough to fill this up with any kind of deviations or, you know, low spots or anything. I'd rather have too much than not enough. You know how that goes. So we're just gonna wrap up with the bucket here and, you know, hand shoveling some low spots. I gotta imagine the wind is really bad for you guys right now, so I'm probably just gonna set you down on the tamper or something, or actually I might need the tamper, so I'll probably put you back over here. You'll have to hang out with this noisy chicken. So yeah, back over here on this piece of metal. There you go. That should work. All right, so it's looking pretty good. Guess we proof's in the pudding, so to speak. All right, let's do a little spot checking. I mean, I'm only floating it like maybe 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. So, I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, Maybe I gotta add a little bit more in this corner. It does look a little light there. Yeah, this end still needs probably another half a bucket in there to get that dialed in where it needs to be. And everything else is like with between a quarter and half an inch, you know, based on how I'm lifting up the grade rod here. So I think for the purposes of this here slab, that's pretty acceptable tolerances for the precision. I would tend to think. I mean, basically the slab is just to get all the sheds on the same elevation so that they plumb up to each other and, you know, everything's level for the most part, and then it's a lot easier to bolt them together. And then, you know, just so that they're on a better piece of ground, so to speak. Better foundation, I guess. Yeah. So I think that's good. I am satisfied so far. So I'm probably going to grab another bucket and just kind of toss it down at the end there. And then we're going to figure out how we're going to brace that up over there. I'll have to see if I got some scrap lumber laying around and just quick cut some pieces and just hammer them in there just to, you know, kind of wedge them in and have something to hold up that form over there. And then I'll have to see what I can do in front of the shed there, because that other enclosure there, that's filled with earth, so it's pretty good and solid, but the shed is just kind of sitting on those blocks. It should be solid enough to hold back, you know, the little bit of concrete pressure that it's going to create. But, you know, I just don't want the wood to go bleh and then have to look at that for the rest of my life. So, yeah, I'll grab a bucket of Crusher Run here, and hopefully these chickens get out of the way, and then wrap this up. Alright, so I still got to add a little bit more to that corner down there, but I'm just going to do that with the tractor. Once the sprout is done with it, I'll just grab a quarter scoop or something and then go down there and throw that in by hand, and then probably just tamp this down, either using the hand tamper or the tractor, and then let's see what I can dig up for some wood to do some braces here. So far so good. It's getting there. Yep, pretty good. Alright, be right back. Okay, so I got the old battery operated chainsaw, some 2x4s, a pounding apparatus, and I'm just going to cut some pieces to length and jam them in there. Birds are stuck in there. Oh, that one's not long enough. So it was long enough at the top, but it really bows in, so I'm going to have to make these quite longer. That should be fine. Just caught the web of my hand. That wasn't very pleasant. Alright, so can I brace against this concrete block? Can you even see the concrete block I'm talking about? I'm going to say yes. Why not? That should work. And then probably, where's the next one? Way over here. Yeah, it's like way under there. I mean, technically, it could. It is what it is. It's kind of really pushing out this way, so it's really. They all gotta come out. Yeah, so I gotta push this board in by like an inch. I guess I should have eyeballed it before I started cutting, but you know that's par for the course around here. I don't know, I can really force this out without using the excavator. Let's try sandwiching this thing in there and just hammering on it. Are you lined up? Let's try that. That worked! What do you know? There, got one for there. One for down there. I need two more of them. Yeah, I don't really think the Mevo is meant to be a GoPro. Can I use this as a pry bar? Kinda, sorta. You go down lower. There you go. Much better. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's the problem with chickens. There's organic material all over the place. And that piece of wood just happened to find some. The frick, you know? It's annoying. See you in a minute.
Where's your water?
I don't know.
All you got is my water.
It kind of looks like hell. I don't know how I feel about that just yet.
We're trying to do with that.
I gotta add some spacers because the form is kind of leaned over a bunch, so I gotta push it back. I cut all this wood, but I cut it too short because I didn't realize how bad the lean was. So now I'm just adding spacers to kind of fix it.
What did happen, Eva? Keep happening. Look at Pufina.
So I'm going to add another one right there. Getting there. I think that'll work. Alright, so here's what we did. That we're gonna push on with the bucket. I'm gonna add some dirt right here, kind of like that. So we braced the form against this existing thing here. That way, you know, because we gotta keep the concrete from pushing it and ruining it and blowing it out. So it's braced. That should work. Most of our crusher run is in here level. I gotta add a little bit here, but for the most part this is good to go. We're within 3/4 of an inch all the way around, you know, spot checking it with the laser on the wood. So now really the only thing left to do here is just tamp this down pretty good. I don't know what I'm going to do with that crusher. I may sprinkle it on here after I tamp it. I don't know. I'm thinking I might want to have it on hand in case I need it for something. But I don't know. Yeah, so that's where we stand. So sometime this week, concrete's going to show up. And basically I'm going to have the Mini on standby. I'm going to try and figure out if I can make some sort of thing that I can clamp onto the bucket to kind of screed it as I go. I do have a big long 4x4 that's like 16 feet long that would go clear across this that I could kind of drag back and forth, but I don't really know how I feel about that, because I'm pretty sure that 4x4 is probably bowed and it ain't gonna work the way I'm hoping it would. If I had like a 16-foot pipe, like a smooth pipe, like a 6-inch diameter smooth pipe, that might work, because then I could weld a piece of metal on there that I could grab with the bucket and the thumb, or maybe just like clamp it, like just weld it flat onto the pipe and then clamp it to the tilt bucket, and then that way I can kind of manipulate it. I don't know, we'll see. I know that when the truck shows up, they're going to ask you what you want your slump at, so I'm probably just going to tell them make it as wet as possible so that it kind of self-levels. I don't know. We'll see. If not, if I got to fix it, whatever. So, that's where we are. Saturday afternoon, probably, I'd say like 3-ish. What do we got? 3:30. So I got a couple other things I want to do today before it gets dark. Then we got to start thinking about dinner. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll have another video up when it's time to do the concrete. I don't think maybe I'll show you the tamping. I don't know. I mean, I'm basically just going to be driving the tractor back and forth on this. It's not really spectacular or mind-blowing. Again, like I said, the alternative is I rent a tamper, but between now and when I have to actually pour the concrete, it's going to be raining a bunch. It'll be dry a few days prior, but trying to save costs here. Oh, I guess I could probably explain something else here while I'm at it. So let me see. There's the wire that I've got for the electrical, the 240. So remember, I was saying how I was going to run conduit from where that 240 sub panel is. Down, under, make a right angle. That would involve me having to cut through these skids and a bunch of other nonsense. And then I got thinking, it's like, well, you've already got this 1-inch conduit going underneath and then back up through the floor for the fiber optic. So basically, what I think I'm going to do here is I have found on the old internet there, I found a 60 amp safety switch. It's like just a big monster on-off switch. It's rated for 60 amp 240. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to feed the 2-inch conduit from our ground box over behind us. I'm going to come up into like a 12-inch box. And then this 60 amp enclosure has 3 knockouts on the bottom. I don't know exactly what they are because I haven't found like the AutoCAD PDF of like what the box is, but I gotta imagine they're like 1 1/4 or 1.5 inch knockouts, because I think the box is like 11 inches wide. If they're 2 inches, that'd be great. But basically what we're looking at right here is 1.5. So I'm going to take the 2-inch, come up out of the ground to a 12-inch box. I'm going to do at least 1, or maybe probably 2, 1.5-inch conduits. One to send the 240 line into the safety switch, and then another to bring it out. And then I'm going to come back into that 12-inch box and then go 2-inch under, same as this is. Because then I'll just go straight under the floor, pop up through the floor inside the garage part, and then come up through the floor, and then I'll move that panel around and land it right there. That way I'm not messing with 90s and going around corners, and it's less conduit and it's more straightforward. So I think that's how I'm going to handle that. And then I got to thinking, I'll pull off 2 of these boards and the 3 battens here. I'm going to pull the side off of the shed here. Because remember, I have this box on the outside, and then on the reverse of this, on the other side of this, I've got another one of these boxes. They're back to back. The only thing that's separating them is the wood. So what I'm going to do is pull the wood off the side of the shed, let that other box free float in the drywall, and then I'm going to run some flexible conduit from the box up and over into the garage half where the network rack is, and then terminate. I'll pull in some extensions and then wire it all together inside the box here. Probably use all those special connectors that you feed the wire and then you clamp it. It's got like the gel and everything in there. I'll probably just because I think there's only 3 or 4. How many lines are coming in here? We gotta go in here. 1. That's fiber. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's only 4 Cat 5s. So I'd have to make 40 clippy clip connector connections, and then that would then carry all the data up and over properly where it needs to be, and then I will have solved that problem of having the data, because originally this shed was just here, and then I ran Cat 5 down underground through conduit to the generator shed, and the switch that's in the generator shed actually does everything that's in the kitchen here. Yeah, so that phone, that camera, and the door access controller, which is hidden behind the television here. So I've got in the wall here, see that black box? That's the door access controller that does the electric lock and everything. Oh yeah, and the PoE speaker in the ceiling. Those 4 things are fed out of the generator shed. That's just how I did it back then. Then, after the shed was here, I was like, you know what? I think I'll put another rack up in here, that cabinet that's on the other side of the wall, for like a secondary core, and it's not really a DR, but it's kind of like a backup of a lot of stuff. That core switch is HSRP with the primary, and so like that primary core could go away, this one will take over, and then any cameras that can make their way back here would still be able to record. We still have internet because I have Spectrum up here. So I mean, it's basically like a failover site. And then there's a computer in this room that I could get back in everything. We could get on the internet and what have you, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. There's the other box there. That's another one of them 6-inch boxes. So I mean, it's inside the wall. I just kind of back mounted it in there. So I'm just gonna drill a hole in the top of that, run some of the orange interduct up and over and into the network rack, and then feed some Cat 5 through here to take care of those 4 terminations. And then what I'll do is I'll cut these, and I'm pretty sure that in back toward the generator shed I've got extra length coiled up, because there's a big monster pull box on the outside of the generator shed. So I'll be able to kind of pull some slack back this way and re-terminate. So that way when the the greenhouse and slaughter shed is here, then I'll have data in that. I mean, I could probably just do a quick conduit, because I'm going to have a 2-incher from the corner of that going underground to that pull box, and I believe, does the pull box come back here? Well, the pull box goes over to that 2-inch, so I mean, I could actually run conduit out of there and back around, but whatever. I mean, I'll sort of maintain this for whatever reason. And then this thing here, because the safety switch is going to come here, it's a big metal enclosure. I'm just going to stub the two 120 lines into it and then just come up with 2 circuits from the panel back there. I'll just reverse feed it back this way and then drill a hole through the back of the safety switch and go through. And, put a bushing and, all that happy stuff on there so it's not going to chafe and everybody will be happy. So yeah, that's, I think, the cleaner, more straightforward way to do that. I'll just have my box there. I'll come down, have probably an LB that goes that way, and then probably a 90, a sweep in the garage side. Just cut a hole large enough in the floor to join that all together, and then step it up through, and we should be good to go. And then the 2-inch expansion joint that's on the panel currently back there, I'm going to repurpose that up here. Once this is moved, and that way I'm saving money there. I don't have to buy a new one of them. And then all this stuff here, these expansion joints, I'll just leave. I believe that's 1.25 inches, that's 1.5 inches. Probably just leave them here for down the road. Yeah. So I think that's it. I've rambled enough, and you've seen enough. So I think we're good for today. All right? Cool. Have a good one.